Welcome to the Washington Gymnastics Rewind on UWTV. This fast-paced format gives you a look into every Husky home gymnastics meet with back-to-back routines from the Gym Dogs on every event. Huskies returned home after a 4-week road trip that landed them at number 15 nationally. Teams looking to boost its regional qualifying score to guarantee a high seed and improve their chances of a trip to the NCAA championship. This meet also featured the Husky men's gymnastics team competing against Arizona State, so it was a jam-packed evening with great gymnastics all around. Huskies started on vault with junior Ruby Ingrites. A little bit flat off the horse, but great distance. Ruby given a 9.8, which is a solid leadoff score. Next, freshman Eliza Vacker. Such a high Yurchenko full, a big hop, but great body position in the air. Next, Meg Whitney. Great vault from the sophomore. Again, a big step back, but awarded a 9.825. Haley Bogart, the senior co-captain. Enormous vault, just the smallest of hops, a 9.875, nearly matched her career high. Sophomore Lauren Rogers next. Two-time national vault champion. Huge vault, again, just like Haley, that small step back, a 9.85 tied her career high. And Amanda Klein, final vaulter for the Huskies, junior out of Colorado. A huge layout half, perfectly stuck landing, incredible vault, very little room for deduction, as you'll see again during this replay. Great block off the horse, super distance, nice form in the air, and does not move those feet. A 9.925 ties her career high. You can see how excited that made the Huskies in their first rotation. A 49.275 ties their high score for the season on the vault. Moving over to the bars, freshman Eliza Vacker leading off. Been extremely clean on the event all season. Scoring over a 9.7 in all but one meet. Full twisting double back dismount with just a small hop. Great clean lead off from Eliza with the 9.725. Amanda Klein next, coming off that great vault performance. Has been a little bit inconsistent on this event this season. Beautiful Ginger to start. This is the area she's had trouble. And you can see missed her foot on the low bar, which means she missed the high bar. It's called a hecht transition between the two bars. A mandatory 5/10 deduction for any fall. Bars is all about timing, and when your timing is off just a little bit, which can be from, the little extra adrenaline that you have during a meet, just the smallest of inches can mean she misses that high bar. Assistant coach David McCreary helps her remount, and she finishes up. A solid dismount, but disappointing routine for the junior. A 9.2 is the score that the Huskies hope to throw out, so a lot of pressure on sophomore Lauren Rogers. One thing to watch in Lauren's routine is her handstand positions, all the way at 180 degrees, leaving the judges very little room for deduction. Doesn't have a major release move, but makes up for it with impeccable form. And a difficult dismount here. Step back, but a clean routine from Lauren, a 9.775. Next up, one of the senior co-captains from Edmonds, Washington, Kristen Linton. One of her final home meets as a Husky. Nearly loses that Stalter move, but is able to muscle back from that handstand and move very nicely into her Jaeger. Doesn't look like it, but the moves that Kristen does are so difficult. recovering well. Just a full twisting double back, small hop. About a 3/10 deduction gives her a 9.7. Now Ruby Ingreitz, junior out of Kirkland, ranked in the top 20 in the NCAA on this event all season long. Extreme difficulty from start to finish. She's been the Huskies' top scorer on bars throughout the season. This dismount is one of the reasons why. Full twisting, double layout, beautifully done with such difficulty. A 9.825 for Ruby, which leads up well to senior Sam Wallier, also ranked very high nationally on the bars. Beautiful Jaeger. Pay attention to her form throughout. You very rarely see her legs separate, her toes unpointed. Has a difficult forward landing dismount like we saw from Lauren Rogers. It's all about knowing where you are in the air. And a perfect stick, beautiful dismount from the senior. We'll see that one more time. When you're flipping forward, you don't see the ground, so it's all about knowing your body position in the air, which she does perfectly. A 9.85 for Sam Wallier. A great exclamation point to that bar rotation. Gives them a 48.875, a high score as they had to overcome a fall and a shaky routine in their second rotation. Beam next. The first time we'll see freshman Paige Bixler, sophomore standout out of Rowlett, Texas. She's been in the nerve-wracking leadoff spot on beam for much of her career. Sometimes a detriment to the individual scores. If you go up first, the judges tend to start low and let their scores build throughout the rotation. Paige's consistency has kept her in that opening spot. In spite of that, she still won 2 titles this season, thanks to gorgeous execution on skills like that side aerial. Slight bobble on her front aerial that she tries to dance out of, but just 2 slight errors in this entire routine. A great lead off from the sophomore, who scores a 9.7 to start the third rotation. Eliza Vacker next, reigning junior national beam champion, competing on beam for the 5th time this season. Nearly off on that front aerial. Her left foot barely made the beam, so what a fight to stay on. Followed by a gorgeous flight series. Probably a 2/10 wobble. Good to see gymnasts recovering, getting back on track after major wobbles like that. Her routine's far from over, has 2 more difficult combinations. Solid connection. She moves into her dismount. She's had a little bit of trouble on her landing this season. 2 back handsprings into a 1.5, just a slight hop. Great recovery for the freshman, shows a lot of toughness. It's given a 9.675. And now her club teammate, Meg Whitney, out of Mesa, Arizona. Both Meg and Eliza competed for Desert Devils. Meg competed her freshman year for the University of Utah. Huskies are so glad to have her in her sophomore year. She's been on nearly every beam and vault lineup. slight arm check on that series. And she's off on that leap series. It's a connection that's given her trouble all season. Sometimes you lapse in focus just a little bit, and a 4-inch wide beam is easy just to step off the side of. Puts a lot of pressure on the remainder of the Huskies lineup. The goal is to never count a fall, which thus far in the season they haven't had to. Her piked gainer off the end, a 9.175 for Meg. So Ruby Ingreitz is in the spot of having to recover from that fall. She's hit her last 5 of 6 beam routines. Opens with a solid tumbling series, has improved her form on that as the season's gone on. Slight bobble on that tuck full. Beautiful extension and height on that leap series. Same combination that Meg just fell on. Another slight check on her side aerial, but has made it through the bulk of the difficulty in the routine. Just a dismount left. Very solid routine for Ruby Ingreitz, a 9.725. Senior co-captain Haley Bogart of Woodside, California, has been so consistent on the beam for the Huskies throughout her career. Has battled ankle injuries all season, so hasn't had the repetitions in practice that she would like, but a beautiful combination to start. That move called a popa, a full twisting straddle jump. So much more difficult than it looks. Back foot was a little off on that gainer layout, but she covered like nothing was wrong. So smooth and clean in this beam routine so far. Cartwheel, gainer full. Beautiful stick. Great routine for the senior. Let's see that dismount one more time. She'll do a cartwheel and swing one leg through, do immediate full twisting back somersault. The beautiful stick. That's exactly what you want to see at the end of the routine. Leave the judges with a great impression, and she does with a 9.825. And her co-captain, Sam Wallier, she has been in the anchor role for the Huskies nearly every meet of her career, has actually never fallen off the beam in her time as a Husky, something that is so rare for any gymnast to be able to say. It's not for a lack of difficulty either, as you'll see in this triple series. Beautifully done. Slight knee bends on each of those moves, otherwise flawless. Difficult leap combination. That ring jump, she takes her eyes off the beam. Ends with a very difficult dismount. double twisting gainer. She'll go off of 1 foot. Beautifully done. Such a phenomenal beam routine for the senior. Extremely difficult. A 9.85. It's the highest home beam score for the Huskies this season, a 48.775. Stay tuned. The 4th and final rotation on the UW Gymnastics Rewind. Welcome back to the UW TV Gymnastics Rewind as the Gym Dogs head to floor to close out the competition. Eliza Vacker competing in her 4th event of the night, competing all around along with Ruby Ingreitz. Very tough test for the freshman that has competed all around so well in 5 meets for the Huskies. Clean double pike to start. Liza comes from a gymnastics family. Her mom competed collegiately for Indiana State. Solid front tumbling. Her second pass. One and a half front layout for her last pass. Beautifully done. Another clean routine and solid meet for the freshman. Eliza given a 9.775. Sophomore Lauren Rogers up next. Competed on 3 events. Watch for the height on Lauren's tumbling. Really uses every spring in the floor. Huge double pike to start. Great job controlling the landing. Front tumbling second pass, very nicely landed. Great execution on her tumbling. Very important leap passes, didn't quite hit 180 degrees on that second split leap. It's a big last pass. Double tuck. Really well done. A 9.825 ties Lauren's season high. Next up, the 4th and final routine of the evening for Ruby Ingreitz. Competed in the all-around for the Huskies the last 6 meets. Double pike to open. Solid landing. Beautiful extension on leaps. That was over 180 degrees. Great second pass. Ruby does a very difficult last pass. She will do 2.5 twists. Perfectly landed. Such a solid routine from Ruby Ingrides, who has really emerged as the top all-arounder for the Huskies. A 9.85 on that routine ties her season high and also locked up her 3rd all-around title of the season. Next, sophomore Paige Bixler. Coach Bowers calls her one of the best dancers on the team. She's been in the floor lineup 8 of the last 9 meets, scoring over 9.7 in each of those. Solid double pike to open. Like Eliza, Paige has some gymnastics pedigree in her family. Her dad competed for Eastern Michigan. Twisting in the second pass. One pass away from a solid routine. Punch Rudy, very nicely done. Another great routine from the sophomore, a 9.85. Continues the Huskies' solid floor rotation. Senior co-captain Sam Wallier qualified for the 2010 NCAA championships on the floor with teammate Kristen Linton. A little bit of a low landing on that double pike. Twice been named all-conference on the floor. Six out of her 8 routines on the floor have scored over 9.8. Takes a lot of endurance to make it through collegiate gymnastics season, let alone floor routine. Sets up for her last pass. Nicely done, Rudy. Routine wrapped up a solid meet for senior Sam Wallier, a 9.85. The score she also hit on bars and on beam. Great meet for the senior. 3 Huskies tie for the floor title with the 9.85, giving them a season high 49.15 on the floor. A great ending to a solid home meet. A 196.075 marks their highest team score in 7 years, the highest under Coach Bowers. Be sure to tune in for senior night on the last UW Gymnastics Rewind on Saturday, March 19th.